welcome to the program from the 33rd team, the great NFL writer Jason Cole. Could you deduce anything from the preseason about how any of these teams or players are going to perform?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it just seemed like there was no effort whatsoever to even disguise the fact that these weren't even as intense as some of the practices as the players and the coaches often allude to.
I think it is incredibly difficult to try and figure out who's actually really good for the first month of the season.
I'm trying to figure out who to use in my survivor pool in week one. What are you talking about as we speak?
Yeah, you want the veteran teams that know how to play it. The younger teams are going to struggle with this kind of stuff unless they're coached by somebody who's like a real high octane coach. He's just going to get them playing like rabid dogs. Not a lot of Jimmy Johnson's in the league right now.
Dan Campbell, I guess, comes to mind right away.
Love Dan Campbell. Love.
Yeah. Crazed is not strong enough to quantify where he's coming from in relation to the other coaches.
I often, and I've said this out loud, that if they win a Super Bowl, he's running naked down 8 miles.
100%. 100%.
Right? No question about it.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Apologize for a little bit of a late start here. Some technical issues, as per usual, in that you just never know what your computer is going to do. You just don't, Lubie. You have issues over there anyway. I mean, with a lousy cable company. You're not on DirecTV, by the way. You're getting shut out on ABC and ESPN, are you?
Oh, is that? Oh, God. Every year there's a new thing with them, and that's so funny.
Unbelievable, yeah. I mean, they just took it off. I mean, it's all leverage and strategy and all of this. But nonetheless, I mean, a lot of people are getting really royally fucked here as the NFL season gets underway with the ESPN naturally carrying the Monday night games and heavily invested in showing and televising all the action at the U.S. Open, which has been great. A resurgence, Lubie, of American tennis.
Yeah, nice.
Unbelievable. You have Jessica Pegula with the big upset last night. I'm not sure how big of an upset it was, but Iga Swiatek, and I heard somebody pronounce it, Mary Jo Fernandez pronounced it as Swiatek. She put the Shvi in there, the Shva.
So Shvi, but there's no N.
Oh, Swiatek?
No, remember this mama wanted it Sviantek or something?
Something, yeah, some weirdness, yeah. I heard Swiatek last night, so I accepted that. Okay. Anyway, and Iga was not on her game by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, she was hitting shots all over the place, really hitting a bunch of flyers, but and inaccurate, uncharacteristically so. I mean, normally this woman is dynamite. Number one player in the world, hasn't been spectacular this year. I mean, she had that, what was that? Was that 2 years ago when she rattled off like 30-something straight match victories? She was just dominating and running away with things. Kind of came back to the pack a little bit. Either that or some of the other ladies on the tour have caught up with her. But Pegula playing very steady. I mean, you could take nothing away from her. And she ends up winning in straight sets. Very convincing victory. And now moves on to face Emma Navarro, who also was victorious. And now Emma Navarro has to face Arina Sabalenka in the semifinals. Interesting matchup, Lubie. Would you give Navarro a shot that this is going on today sometime? Not sure if it must be night matches, right? Are they playing both of those semis at night? I'm not sure. But nonetheless,
I don't know.
You have two American women in the semifinals with a chance to make an all-American final. Not sure that that's going to happen, but nonetheless, it's a possibility.
It says 7 o'clock tonight. It says 7 p.m. and 8:15 p.m. So I don't know how that works. Oh, it's America. Yeah, it's in the USA. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, makes some sense.
Tonight. Tonight.
7 and probably by the time you get the other match out there, maybe 9 o'clock. There have been a lot of issues about the start times of matches. Do you think that's something that needs to be addressed, Lubie? It's a big issue yesterday with Chris Russo. I was watching a little bit of First Take by accident. And is it necessary? No wonder we're not getting any traction here. We're not screaming enough on this show.
No, yeah, that's our problem. But
we're just not screaming enough.
We're not going to start now.
They just wind these guys up and say, "Okay, Stephen A., Chris, start screaming." And they start screaming. But he was screaming about the start times You had two matches that began right around midnight in the U.S.
Yeah,
Open.
that's a lot. I mean, I wouldn't scream about it because I don't care that much, but that is weird.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I play a lot of tennis, or I have. I'm waiting to make my return here. I just still haven't gotten out there. But I don't know. I mean, do I want to go? Even in the heyday when I loved it, I guess I would have played basketball. If somebody had opened up a gym at midnight,
Yeah.
you would have gone out there and been happy, right? I remember, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but that was a big deal when I was growing up. If some guy had somehow ripped off the key to the gym from the custodian, somebody distracts the custodian, and in the meantime, another kid, steals the key to the gym, and then you had the key to the gym, and you'd all gather there at like midnight. It was like March Madness.
Yes, when you're a
Well,
little
not
kid.
March Madness, but Midnight Madness. Remember,
Midnight
Calipari started that, didn't he? Where he
Well,
started
I know he
practicing the
started
minute,
it.
the second that you could.
Yes, and it became an event. They make a big event out of it.
Everybody started doing it. It was very unfortunate. Sometimes it's not good to copy what other people are doing and kind of embrace it as your own. Leonard Hamilton learned that the hard way, didn't he? Where he had the Midnight Madness. He introduced it. He wanted to get the enthusiasm going for what was a completely ignored at the time University of Miami program. He'd come in here. He recruited a guy who was averaging 30 points a game, like in Coney Island, somewhere in New York, Steve Frazier. And Steve Frazier, of course, goes out there, Midnight Madness. Leonard operating under somewhat of a curse when he was here at the University of Miami, and blows out his knee in the very first practice. And you're thinking, I don't know that it mattered that this was happening at midnight. Probably would have happened anyway. Could have happened at any time. But unfortunately, you decided to roll the team out here and do this whole big thing like you were at the University of Kentucky. You're not there anymore, Leonard.
Exactly.
Fucked up the whole season. I was doing Canes basketball that year, and it was pretty. I mean, poor guy, Steve Frazier. I think he was in school. He was one of the original guys that had like 7 or 8 years of eligibility. He was there forever after that injury. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where you have a ton of enthusiasm for something that's about to take place. But playing tennis at midnight to 2 in the morning, Lubie, do you really want to do that? I mean, if somebody called you and said, "Hey, you can go out and hit with Roger Federer right now, but it's going to start at midnight," you'd probably say, "You know what? Fuck Federer. I don't want to play with him. Guy's too good anyway." But yeah, that was one of the controversies. Russo was screaming about it. I don't like it. I mean, look, if you're starting a match after 11 o'clock, especially a men's match, I mean, and somebody came. I don't know. Is it Tuesday? Women should always play first when they do these nighttime doubleheaders, and you have a women's match and a men's match. Just put the women out there first because they only play at most 3 sets. At the best, if they started at 7 o'clock and they started the thing on time, then you're maybe looking at 10:30 before the guys get out there, which is late enough, right? Because the men might play 5 hours. It's very possible.
Yes,
So,
men can go on for a while. I mean, look, it sucks to start it too early because people are working, and also the humidity and the heat is utterly ridiculous.
Not easy to get to the stadium there in New York if you're coming from almost anywhere, right?
Yes, so
I have plenty of mass transit, but it's still going to take you some time after work.
The 7 o'clock start, but the problem is, as we know with men's, if it's tomorrow because it's the same setup, I would presume they're going to do a very similar thing. The men could go to 10 o'clock, so then you don't have that, and you got to have a time between. So then the next match can start to 10:30, 11. Like I don't know how you don't start that first match around between 5 and 6 like that.
Probably a bad time, right? I mean, and there are some things that you can't dodge. It's just that they were putting the women out there. It happened both times with women's matches, where they ended up playing till like 2:15 in the morning. But it's a small issue because you've been getting just a gargantuan amount of entertainment out of this thing. Really an exciting tournament, and of course tonight, and our philosophy here on the show, we love the smell of point spreads in the morning, Lubie. And you do have the onset and the advent of the first game in the NFL tonight.
Yes, the NFL is back.
I got a little nervous for my friend Sheldon G, our friend Sheldon G, because he's got a substantial wager that he made right away as soon as the line came out on the Chiefs to beat the Ravens at home tonight, laying 3 points.
Yes, I mean,
and now my recollection, and I we had to revisit this game. I saw some clips of it from last night. They were doing a little preview of the game. Now the Ravens beat the Chiefs in the regular season last year in a close ball game, high scoring affair. And then they laid an egg in the postseason as the Chiefs won the AFC title game. This is a rematch of the AFC title game from a year ago. And the Chiefs ended up winning 17-10. But my recollection of it was that the Chiefs dominated that game and made Lamar Jackson look like a fool. But the truth was,
it was his first half. The second
Baltimore came very close to winning that game.
Yes.
Could have made a very strong case for winning that game outright, even though they were playing horribly in the first half.
To me, the Chiefs got out to such a big lead that I purposely remember it that way. I know that
was it 17-3 or something? Is that how it was going?
They were up by 2 scores. I know you hate that term, but they were up by, I think, a couple touchdowns, and they were just, remember, the Ravens had the ball deep in their own side, and then they fumbled, and the Chiefs scored. Like, the Chiefs were actually moving the ball on offense that game. The Chiefs were just playing really good football in the first half, and then the second half, the Ravens woke up. Second half, they sort of figured out the Lamar Jackson thing, and they made the game closer. I don't remember ever thinking that the Ravens were going to win. So I don't know if that's.
But they weren't owned by the Chiefs in that game, as I was thinking.
No, they were the first half. The first half they were, and then the Ravens woke up. I mean, the Ravens were a really good team last year. It's not like they weren't, and the Chiefs were off their game last year. Again, that's the whole problem for this season is the Chiefs were not great last year. And they won a Super Bowl.
They got very lucky. I mean, the Ravens had a touchdown. Remember, the guy got stripped right before he went into the end zone. Yes. Very close play.
That was
on a touchdown pass that would have put the Ravens right back in there.
Yes.
And then there were subsequent bonehead plays that ended up favoring the Chiefs heavily and enabled them to win that ball game, move on to go to the Super Bowl, where they also pulled out a victory. And I mean, it wasn't like they were just an overwhelmingly dominant force last year. They did win the Super Bowl, going for a three-peat, which in today's modern era of football seems almost impossible. I mean, Mo, what are we talking about here? The Green Bay Packers?
Okay, the Packers. In my life, that's never happened. Like the back-to-back thing, I'm trying to remember. I know the Patriots won a lot.
I don't think it's ever happened 3 in a row.
I just don't. I
want to say no.
The back-to-back is, look, outside of the Cowboys, did the Patriots win maybe the Patriots won back-to-back because I know they won like 4 in like 6 years or something.
But I don't know that the trifecta has ever been accomplished.
I've never seen that. Yeah. I maybe in the AFL again, like you're saying, they.
I'm going to say no to that. We should ask Gurggles, an expert on trivia.
He's here.
Let's bring him in. Dave Gurggles Gergely. We're going to have a little trivia competition here today, so you guys get ready for that. And there he is, the great one himself, Mr. Dave Gurggles Gergely. I thought, wow, this is an honor. The other day, I'm just kind of spacing out, laying in bed, watching TV, and I see the phone ring, and it's Gergely. Pops up. Actually, it comes up as Gurggles on my phone, and there was nobody there. Were you at the track or something? Sitting on your phone?
What time of day was it? I don't remember even.
I'm not sure. That I don't recall. I mean, you're asking tough questions now. What time of day was it?
But I do remember one team going to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row.
Did the Pack do that?
But unfortunately, they lost the first one to Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
And then won the next 2.
That's right. Okay. So, yeah, it was 71, 72, 73. Didn't do well in that first game and naturally completed the perfect season and then came back with what many Dolphins from that era would say was an even better team in 1973.
That's right.
Although they lost a couple of games, but when you talk to some of those guys, which you frequently socialized with over the years, as I have, and Lubie too, for that matter, they would all tell you to a man, wow, I mean, the 73 team was better than the 72 team that went undefeated. So,
well, a lot of people looking back, the 72 team didn't face anyone. Like, I think they beat like all season one team with a winning record. And a lot of the games were very close, just nail bite games. And the 73 team was very different. I think they played a much tougher schedule. And I think they were much more impressive with how they beat teams. And that's why people remember them that way.
Shula loved that undefeated season, man. The fact, I mean, all of those guys, and it's very honorable distinction to be the only team ever to accomplish this in the history of the National Football League. But man, he wore that like a very proud badge of honor.
And we will see some of those guys December 7th. Our course, of course, will be closed for renovation. The Larry Little All Celebrity event will be right around the corner of Country Club in Miami here. So we'll see Larry there and probably Mercury Morris and a couple other guys too.
Greasy?
Greasy may show up. He didn't show last year. Greasy loves to come down and bum a Perdomo cigar from me. He's very good at that.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's a big Perdomo guy.
My lasting image now, forever, indelibly impressed, it will be Greasy standing over us while we were sitting in the lobby there of the Shula Hotel doing a trivia challenge. Lenny had just finished polishing off a couple of burgers that came out. Lenny would be good hanging around the Mike Mayo Lunchbox show with all the food that comes out there. Although he slimmed down some, which is good in the interest of preserving his health and lively, status, living status. But Greasy was hovering over us, and after a while of staring at us, we finally finished up what we were saying. Went to a break, and as we took the headsets off, Greasy looks at me straight in the eye and says, "What are you doing here?"
Oh yeah, that's typical of him.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't seen a guy in years. What are you doing? And the way he said it was like with a certain amount of sarcastic disgust, wasn't it? It seemed that way anyway. And yet I always thought I was on decent terms with the guy. Maybe that is good terms with Bob.
That might be. That's a term of endearment from him. Yeah.
What about the NFL season? You know what? I was thinking this morning. I could live without the NFL as a sports fan. There's just enough stuff going on. I mean, there's still a lot of exciting things happening in the world of sports. If it wasn't happening tonight, I'd be okay. But as a guy that likes to talk about betting, I can't imagine that there's a bigger holiday than the first day of the NFL season. I mean, people are going ape. They've been waiting for this forever, it seems like. And,
it's strange when you're sitting at the bar at a pari-mutuel like Gulfstream, for instance, and it's June, and people are saying, "Boy, I can't wait for the NFL." I go, "Hey, wait a minute, life goes fast enough."
Yes.
I got Saratoga first. I got everything else. It'll come here, and now it's here, and everybody's ready. I've got the first leg of my parlay in with my Phillies hanging on last night to win 4-3.
Nice.
And then now I need the Chicago Bears to beat Tennessee. And I think they're given 4. And then the last part of it is the Jets and the 49ers on Monday night over the total, which is like 41 or something, maybe.
44.
44.
Fofo. Willie McCovey, yeah, in honor of Willie McCovey. What do you think? Because you see, you took a.
I have to go
all of a sudden, there was a little lump in your throat.
I have to go. Let me go take a look at the ticket again. I don't know. It's only $30.
This could be yesterday's news, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking this line out of the New York Post, which is essentially a day behind when you get the Florida edition. All right, we're going to do the trivia challenge, and everything else going well, copacetic there?
Everything's going well. Yeah, we're getting ready. Course in great shape. The rain finally stopped. It's sunny here. Probably in November. Well, we're going to do our St. Jude's tournament October 28th. That's we've raised over $400,000 over the years for that one. And the doctor actually shows up. And then after that, we'll start getting ready for renovation. And it's going to be a huge, huge winter as far as the renovation goes here. Now, I may be a little out of the office, and I'll be more available for other things during that time. But yeah, we're excited out here. And of course, we get Perdomo cigars right here in the pro shop too. But we're ready for the trivia challenge. And Lubie, my apologies last week. They did finish in second to Chronics while I was there. That's the highest finish they ever had while I was there. I tried to give them some wrong answers. They wouldn't accept.
All right, well, dial us up if you want to play. We'll get into the game here in just a sec. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. Did want to acknowledge the combined no-hitter by the Cubs last night. I don't know if this is one of your questions, Gurggles, but that's the first Cub no-hitter at Wrigley since Milt Pappas threw one.
Jeez. No, it was not.
1972.
Not one of my questions.
Oh, it's not one of your questions.
I think Milt Pappas, in his retirement days, had a soft pretzel stand at Calder.
Really? Is that real?
It's very possible. I thought he ran a barbershop there. Remember that? They had a barbershop at Calder. You could go there and get a haircut and a shave. Every now and then, you'd see like the Polyman with a bunch of towels over his face, and you were going, "Hey, what are you getting a shave here, Polyman?" He says, "No, there's a bookie out there that I got."
That's true.
All of a sudden, they got the guy. Remember the guy with the strap and the straight razor?
Yeah.
That did seem deadly, didn't it? Though I mean, for some reason, if you ever were going to have a shave, that you were thinking, "Wow, I don't know why people would pay for this because it was like pure torture, wasn't it?" Did you ever do that, Lubie? You ever get one of those shaves at a barbershop?
My buddy used to go to an old school. It was like, I don't know if it was Haitian, but it was a bunch of Caribbean.
Lubie froze on us there, Gurggles.
Between barbers and clients. I thought it was. My buddy used to go to an old school barbershop, and it was a Caribbean barbershop, and they would do the goddamn razor on your face.
Yes.
And that was just, I know you guys did your whole life, and it is what it is. It scared the living shit out of me because they go to the jugular and they're talking and they're bullshitting and they're yelling out, and they don't give a shit. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking by my goddamn jugular with a goddamn straight blade.
And they just finished sharpening the fucker up.
Nah, I'm good. That was a one and done. I don't think I ever did that again.
It was worse than shaving with your wife's razor.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all fucked up.
We're out of razor blades, and you run up to the shower there, and you grab one. Oh, look, here's one. Ooh. And then you realize that it's just a minefield. You're gonna have to navigate your way through in terms of cuts. You literally need like Stitch Durand in the bathroom there with you. You need a cut man on hand. All right, we'll get into the trivia challenge. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. That was a great tradition at the racetrack, along with the shoe shine guy. Which I always loved that. And when we were doing the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, going down to Hialeah every Saturday, they still had the sign from like Joe the Shoeshine Man in that one bathroom where the lights were never on. And, the place was closed when we were there. But I always, I don't know why, I just wanted to grab that thing. I thought it was a classic piece of Americana type art. I mean, it was very, Andy Warhol-esque to have that sign. But, that was a big tradition there, and none of that goes on anymore, right? I mean, at Toga, did they have a shoe shine guy? No?
No, I haven't seen it anywhere, not at Toga, no.
No, and they don't have a barbershop, I would imagine, either.
They do have a shoe shine, though, right across from the jocks' quarters. There was a shoe shine right there, and that guy was quite busy, yep.
Okay, good, yeah, because what the hell, you're walking around in that mud? I mean, it would be sort of self-defeating, wouldn't it? But with all the rain they had at Saratoga? Get your shoe shined, and you're sitting next to Todd Pletcher. I mean, you would have to be a pretty ritzy character to have your shoe shine while you're at the track. All right, we're going to come back with more and the trivia challenge, 954-417-0070. Dave Gurggles Gergely, the master of ceremonies. Dial us up if you want to play, and we'll be back with the trivia challenge in a moment. Now that. The time. It's 8:29. Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodzie, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodzie, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1.8 miles. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici just switched the stick.
The only way to get them all started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Many people have tried to characterize the futility Yankee fans are feeling because they're the team's being managed by Aaron Boone. Nobody could characterize it any better than our, favorite Yankee fan, possibly of all time, the Polyman, Paul Massell, diehard Yankee fan, knows his Yankees very well, Yankee history, current Yankee status, and not a big fan of Aaron Boone, as you might imagine, falls in line with most of the the consensus that this guy needs to go. And he put it perfectly in characterizing the futility of having a team managed by Aaron Boone. He said, Aaron Boone would have taken the fat kid that usually you throw out in right field and played him at shortstop.
I like it.
Does that not summarize it? I mean,
true. 100% true. And when the kid sucked, he would keep him there, not even feel bad about it.
he's trying hard. I tell you what, he's hustling. That's all I can ask for. Play the game hard, play the game right. What are you, Renee Latchman? Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
But that really hit it. I mean, Polyman very much on his game these days. We got to have a resurrection of the Polyman. I know we keep saying he's
love him. He can come whenever he wants. We miss Polyman.
I mean, whatever issues he had a thing with his, he had a Toulouse-Lautrec thing going on and all kinds of crazy shit. My ear and my teeth. But we love him and brilliant as always. I mean, even in a subtle text message regarding the status of the current Yankee manager. We're going to get into it here. Gurggles is going to fire off the questions, and all you have to do is dial us up if you want to play, 954-417-0070. Lubie will be later on tonight with the live trivia competition, which Gurggles was in attendance at, helping bury the Chronics last week and preventing them from copying yet another Landlubber's gift certificate.
I think Andy's team won, right? Didn't Andy's team win?
Andy's team won? Wow.
Andy's team won, and the Chronics finished second, from what I recall.
Did Andy engage the Schwab? No, the Schwab checked out. He couldn't have had him.
I don't think so.
Did he have a team of ringers? I'm assuming that Andy put together a team of trivia ringers. No?
They're good. Yeah, they're good. They
Eddie
play every
Kaplan
week.
was on his team.
So, it's his old friends and then him, and they do a really good job. They're pretty contentious every week, just like the Chronics.
Okay, so we have a rivalry developing.
Yes, there's definitely a little thing between them. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 teams that come every week, sit in the same area, and they like keep track of each other, and it's actually funny. And last week, they called themselves the Subway Series. Speaking of the Mets, I guess the Mets are back in the playoff picture, which is interesting.
They're hovering in it, yes.
Yeah, they won last week, and I'm sure the Chronics will be out for blood this week.
Mets have won 7 in a row, by the way, if you're tracking such things. All right, here we go. Into the competition for the Landlubber's gift certificate that Lubie has given away. And usually, because of the people that have been playing here on the show, he's able to just hand it to somebody as they walk in the door at Landlubber's. Saves a stamp, Lubie. Saves a stamp. All right, 954-417-0070 on the phone lines. Here's Dave Gurggles Gergely, our first set of questions in honor of the Polyman, Paul Massell. We start out with
baseball.
some. Yeah.
Easy baseball. This ball player, when asked about his childhood ambitions, recalled and said, when I was a kid, I wanted to play baseball and join the circus. And then I became a member of the Yankees, and I got able to do both. Craig Nettles, Craig Kilborn, Craig Statler, or Roger Craig?
Good one. Roll the scrambler there, Lubie. See if that thing's functioning. There we go. And our first player is Ron. Ron, you're on the Trivia Challenge. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A.
Correctamundo. 1 point going for 2.
Well done, Ron. All right, football. The 1984 game at Tampa Stadium between the Canes and the Gators, believe it or not, was the first televised live by ESPN broadcasting live college football game. That was the very first one. True or false?
Let's go true.
True, says.
No, it's a tough question, Ron. It was actually the second. The first game was played earlier and televised with Pitt versus BYU.
Well, there you go.
All right. So you have 1 going for 4, Ron.
Yes.
All right, Ron. Let's give you a golf question. Since 2019, with the adoption of winning by strokes instead of points for the FedEx Cup, which winner won the event by the largest margin of strokes? Scott Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, or Victor Hovland?
What are the choices again?
Yeah, who was the first 2?
Sure. Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, or Victor Hovland?
Jesus.
What was the question?
Fuck.
Let's go Victor Hovland.
Hovland. Wow, least likely.
2023,
Nice.
won by 5.
Only
Well
Ron
done.
can get out of his ass.
Good job. 4 going for 9 here, Ron.
You were on. Shit.
All right, here's one near and dear to Defoe's heart. Who was the first New York Met to hit for the cycle?
Oh, God.
Good question.
Tommy Agee, Jim Hickman, Ed Kranepool, or Jerry Grody?
Oh, God.
Let's go Jim Hickman.
I'm going
Yes.
Hickman. Yes.
Jim Hickman.
63.
Jim Hickman.
We get the lights back on here.
Holy shit.
Center fielder, Lubie. Center
Final
fielder, Jim
score.
Hickman. I think Hickman might have hovered around 300 while he was a New York Met. Is that possible? All right. Nice job, Ron. Wow. Gets on the board there right away with 9 points, setting a very hot pace. You can dial us up if you want to play. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. While Lubie lines up our next player, David, tell us a little bit about Perdomo Cigars.
Yeah, I just stopped in there Tuesday. They were closed Monday for Memorial Day, and they're humming. Everything's good. They got a new shipment in from their Cuban seed tobacco farm in Nicaragua, and this week's a great time to stop by and see them. The kids are back in school. Reason for a lot of you to celebrate. Whether you're going out on the boat or just your backyard, Perdomo Cigars make the day perfect. You don't have to go all the way to the Maldives like the nice clip Defo sent me of the girl jumping in the Indian Ocean. But right there, I just had a lot 23 with a nice cold. That was probably a Peroni, I think I was drinking at that time.
That beer looks perfect too, Gergs.
Yeah. The other one is with a Middleton Irish whiskey, which is unbelievable too. But Perdomo Cigars go with everything, whether you drink an adult beverage with it or not. After a great meal, a great Perdomo cigar, after hitting a race at the track, or just celebrating being alive. Put something great in your mouth with a Perdomo cigar. You can call them at 305-627-6700. Go online, www.perdomocigars.com if you're going on a Saturday or Sunday because they're closed. And they're located easy, 5150 Northwest 167th Street, right a little bit south of the Home Depot on the east side of the street. Say hello to Nick and Nubia. Go in there and enjoy a great Perdomo cigar. By the way, we have a Perdomo cigar horse for you today at Kentucky Downs in race 2. There's a horse out of Oscar Performance, a great grass sire called City of Oscars with Flavian Pratt at 7-2. So take a look at him and then put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
How those horses you gave out at Colonial do, Gergs? They do.
They're not doing bad, the Colonial horses. Colonial horses do okay. Ellis horses do okay.
No,
well.
I mean, you gave out a couple on the show the last time.
I think.
That was a couple of weeks ago. So.
Siege of Boston was third with Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
And I didn't give it out, but I did hit the hopeful at Saratoga with McCracken horse, came from way out of it with Pratt. And he was, I think, a $10 horse too. So Saratoga was good to me. But Colonial
would you
Downs,
say
today?
Oh, sorry. Would you say that Jimmy Graham as a jockey is equally underrated as Dr. Jerry Graham was as a wrestler?
Yeah, I guess Jimmy's getting a little long in the tooth now. Doesn't get as many mounts, but he tries awfully hard and usually at big prices.
All right, very good. All right, ready for our next set of questions? Dave Gurggles Gergely. We have Ron with 9 leading the pack here in the trivia challenge on this fine Thursday. And here we go. Our next set with Dave Gurggles Gergely.
Olympics. This late night host, after Michael Phelps' spectacular performance at the Olympics, said, yesterday Michael Phelps set an all-time Olympic record for most medals. Phelps has so much gold on his chest, he's been asked to join the cast of Jersey Shore. What's that? Conan O'Brien, Jim O'Brien, Hugh O'Brien, or Pat O'Brien?
All right, roll it, Lubie. By the way, I don't know how you preserved that Croatia shirt that the lovely and talented one gave us both. Mine is a tattered mess.
I barely wear
comparison. But, I do wear it out there in the walk of life, so it gets all schwitzed out, and then it's probably been washed a couple of thousand times. As yours looks like you just ironed it. I mean, that is fantastic, Lubie. All right, look at it. Could get any more illustrious so far to start the show? Lenny the Chronic up next. The Chronic, one of the all-time champion here, took over for Bernadette Kay. How are you?
How you doing, guys?
Good morning, Chronic.
Doing great, Chronic. How are you?
I just want to say that Gurggles can really pick those horses. He's a champ at that.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Lenny and Ron each gave me 20, and I put in 20, and I took them to Saratoga with me. We ran it up to about 190. We threw it back in yesterday. We got 90, so I'm going to give them $30 each, minus shipping and handling. So they got $5 coming from me.
I wouldn't even get them a hot dog at Saratoga.
All
right, you have 1 point, Chronic. Here's your true false.
All right, football, Lenny, true or false? The 1963 game between University of Miami and the Florida Gators was actually canceled due to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy the day before the scheduled game. True or false?
Why not? True.
True.
No,
No,
that's
made it up.
false. They were only one of 5 games that actually went through and played that day.
Oh, wow.
Wow, disgusting. Well, it's a red state here. I mean, what do you figure? They didn't care. They were. I don't want to say that Florida was happy about it.
I know that's
That would be an ugly assertion. All right. Of course, Lenny missed the true/false question, so he has one going for 4.
Oh, wait.
All right, Lenny, NFL football right around the corner. Here we go. Which player in NFL history has the most career catches without ever having a receiving touchdown? Is that Josh Jacobs, Gerald Riggs, Earl Campbell, or Adrian Peterson?
No, like my internet's being weird. Can you say that again, Gergs? Say that again.
Sure.
Say that-
Which player in NFL history has the most career catches without ever having a receiving touchdown? Josh Jacobs, Gerald Riggs, Earl Campbell, or Adrian Peterson?
I'm going to go with Gerald Riggs.
Riggs.
201.
Nice.
That's right. Josh
Very
Jacobs
nice.
was second with 197. Earl Campbell, 120. Very good.
4 going for 9. Sharp players today.
All right, Lenny. So you brought up horses. Let's go with it. Who was the last horse to win the Hopeful Stakes as a 2-year-old and then go on to win the Derby as a 3-year-old?
Tough one.
Was that Secretariat, Affirmed, Mind That Bird, or Justify?
Let's see. I'm going to say Mind That Bird.
Couldn't have been that one. Justify, I'm going to go with.
No.
No?
How about you have to go all the way back to 1978 when Affirmed did that.
Affirmed.
I'd hang around, Chronic. You may be in the final.
All right. Chronic with 4 points, so not a bad showing here. So we have Ron with 9, the Chronic with 4. And you can dial us up if you want to play at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. It's funny, Gurggles, because we're doing talk shows, so we're always sort of implying that we're talking to people, like, what's the buzz out there? And then I realized, like Andy pointed out, people are saying this and that, but I don't talk to anybody anymore. So is there any steam out there? You're on the links. Anybody talking about the Miami Dolphins season opener against Jacksonville, which I just saw the prediction.
I've heard talk that the Dolphins better beware, that this game's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Okay,
I don't know.
well, the spread's 3 and a hook. I just was looking at Pete Prisco, who picks all the games there on CBS Sportsline, and well-known football writer for many, many years. I'm not sure how accurate he is on selections, but I'm assuming he does okay. He's got the Jaguars winning outright.
Wow.
On a late field goal, saying that the Finns go down. And I just advised people on our gambling show, Bury Your Bookie, to go ahead and going against one of my credos, my most, sacred credos, which is don't get cute. Lubie knows this to be true, too. That if you were in a survivor pool, the obvious game to take this week would be the Cincinnati Bengals straight up over the New England Patriots, who are going to be horrible. There's some, question about the status of Jamar Chase, but I think the Bengals probably beat the Patriots. I think almost anybody would beat the Patriots on opening day, especially with the Patriots on the road. Yes. So that's a safe pick. But I mean, if you're in the survivor pool, you're hoping that game goes down somehow.
Yes.
That the Patriots come up with a miraculous win. Burrow, is out of the ball game or whatever. Hopefully not hurt permanently, but enough so that he allows the Patriots to streak home. And then you draft in there. And my game of choice was I don't see how the Dolphins lose to the Jaguars on opening day, because the Dolphins, they got that sprinter speed.
Yes.
And I don't know, what are the Jaguars? Lubie and I were saying it yesterday. I don't know that I can name you another player besides Trevor Lawrence.
Well, what about what's the total in that game? Maybe 48, 49?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and people were looking. This guy was also saying this was a game. 49 is the total.
Yeah.
And that happens to be the second highest total on the board, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still
altogether, yeah. I mean, Chiefs tonight 47 with the Ravens. You have 51 as the highest total on the board, and that is in the Lions-Rams game. Lions-Rams. They're looking for a lot of scoring there. But anyway, so yeah. I mean, what do you think? Dolphins? Do they? You're saying watch out, huh?
Yeah, I'm rooting for them definitely. I mean, even though the coach of the Jags is my old buddy from Doug Peterson.
That's your man.
I think was the starting quarterback the day Shula
Shula.
set the record for most
Yes,
wins.
in Philadelphia, oddly enough.
Yeah, and of course, the quarterback that will live in infamy in coach that'll live in infamy in Philadelphia, at least for another year or two. But I'm going to just enjoy the game. I just make a habit of not betting the hometown teams.
Okay.
That way I can root for the game and not be nervous about one way or the other. Me personally, I'll just watch all the games, enjoy them. I'll root for the Bears to handle the Titans. And then I got to double check that over under on the 49ers and Jets for Monday. But it's football's here. It's going to be great. I usually either go to what used to be Shula Steak 2. It's now Steak and Sports on Main Street. Or if I'm really ambitious, I'll go to a pari-mutuel like Gulfstream and sit at the bar with Fernando and watch races from Kentucky Downs and Gulfstream, and then 5 games too. So can't beat it.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. All right, let's continue and play one more, and then go to the finals here of the trivia challenge. So here's Dave, our last set of questions. David,
this rather skiing. We had a request for that category. This rather offbeat comedian on skiing said, cross country skiing is great if you live in a small country. What's that? Only one guy: Stephen Wright, Wilbur Wright, Orville Wright, or Orville Redenbacher?
Stephen Wright. You know our friend Special K, right?
Oh yeah.
Is Stephen Wright not the reincarnation? Or Special K is?
Yeah.
Not that Wright is dead. Where is Stephen Wright these days? Is he doing anything? But
I don't know. He's
very similar in their delivery.
Originally.
No, I mean when you hear Special K,
there's another guy like him called Elmo Phillips, which is pretty bizarre too.
Yeah. I've been getting a lot of Stephen Wright on Facebook popping up lately.
68.
Stephen Wright routines.
He's doing, but he's 68, which is probably very similar in age to Special, actually.
Special looks good, though. He stays healthy. The kid plays a lot of basketball.
They're very
All
similar.
right, Mike, you're on the trivia challenge. Hello, Mike.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hey.
Correct, sir. I have 1 point. You're in the race.
All right, Mike, baseball, true or false? Believe it or not, in 1977, on this day in sports, the Cleveland Indians staged a rather unique promotion called I Hate the Yankee Hanky Night, inspired by local radio personality Pete Franklin, and the home team that night, in fact, swept a doubleheader over the Yankees at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. True or false?
I'll say true.
Sounds true.
Yeah,
nice.
I hate the Yankee Hanky Night. I like that.
That's great.
Beautiful. All right. You had a lot of detail there, so I was tempted to lean towards true. All right. 2 for 2. And the first one to get the true-false question correct. So, Mike, you're going for 5 points here and second place.
All right, Mike, NFL again. Quarterback Kenny Pickett threw an interception in his first ever passing attempt, becoming the 4th in history to do so. Which of the following was not one of the other 3? Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, Brett Favre, or John Beck?
Oh, God.
Answer C.
C, he says.
C, Jameis?
C as in cat?
Yes.
No, it's D as in dog. John Beck did
Beck
not do that, even though he played for the Dolphins.
Jesus.
Very good. Man, he was horrible, too. Huh?
He was the worst of all of them. All 3 of them ended up having at least careers. Beck was fucking...
Oh, my God. Yeah. John Beck made A.J. touchy-feely. Johnny Unitas, didn't he?
He more than a year. Did Beck get out of a year? I don't think he got out. Like, he's now like a QB coach, and I think he's been doing that for like a decade.
All right, you have a chance to make the finals here, Mike, or sayonara until next week. Here we go.
Here we go, Mike, and fitting question, ABA. Who is the only player to lead the ABA in scoring and rebounding in the same season?
Rebecca Lobo.
Is that Artis Gilmore, Mel Daniels, Dan Issel, or Spencer Haywood?
Scoring and rebounding, same season.
Same year.
God. Good choices.
One more.
Artis.
Artis.
I'm going to go.
Left score, but it was Spencer Haywood. 1970.
All right.
All right. Well, nice try, Mike. Thanks for playing, man.
All right. Good try, Mike. We're going to line up the Chronic and Ron. One more time, Gurggles, Perdomo Cigars.
Yeah, go visit them.
Great people.
Go visit them, 5150 Northwest 167th Street. The most sociable family-run business you'll ever want to see, and knowledgeable. Usually when I stop in, members of the police taking a break, motorcycle cops in there watching TV, enjoying a cigar on their break. And he's got a big, long couch, a lounging area. You can smoke in there. And Nubia at the hostess stand is wonderful. Of course, we talked about the big humidor built by our late great friend, the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich. And you can go there today, tomorrow, but not Saturday or Sunday. They're closed on the weekends. 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the south side of the Palmetto, a little bit east of Home Depot. Call them, 305-627-6700. Saturday, Sunday, go online, perdomocigars.com, the retailer near you that sells these great cigars. I wish I would have found one in Saratoga, but they didn't have Perdomo cigars at their stand. So I brought my own the next day after that. You don't have to go all the way to Saratoga. You can go right to Miami Lakes area or go to any tobacconist worth their salt and put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars when the Dolphins beat Jacksonville 31-17.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying a 2-touchdown victory. I'm more in line with you than I am with these other people that are paranoid all of a sudden. Lubie, did you want to venture a pick on that game before we get to the finals here?
Well, look, I again, 2 years ago, Jags were really good, right? They made a nice run. Remember, they came back against the Chargers from being down by 20-something, and then I think they went on to, go to the conference finals. And then last year they fell off a little bit, struggled early, and then made a late run, but I think they missed the playoffs. But being at home, September, the heat, all that, and that's the one thing for this Dolphins team is injuries. This is the healthiest they're probably going to be because the rest of the year they'll be hurt. So to me, I would presume if they don't win this game, then they're in trouble because these are the kind of games they should win. September, home, 1 o'clock. With this.
What about the other game? What do you think about FSU versus Carroll City?
Oh, good. Yeah, exactly. I go Carroll City.
Only kidding. Only kidding.
Oh, man.
They have a bye. They have a bye this
Andrew
week.
Galata-esque low blow there.
They finally can't lose.
Yeah.
Well,
Lubie's done a good job of getting over it.
Bye.
Yeah.
Right.
He's done a good job of kind of controlling his emotions about this whole thing. So throughout the week, people have been trying to egg him on too. Segreto really tried to get to him yesterday. Tony's become kind of an agent provocateur, is he not?
100%, yes.
Yeah. He likes to poke the needle now, and not as overwhelmingly favorable towards the home teams as he used to be. I don't know what's happening to him up there. It must be the cool air in Vermont. It's startled him into some realizations from the various things he's professed over the years. All right, here we go. Finals are set. Ron and Lenny. Gurggles has a question. He's going to fire it off. You guys, if anybody wants to answer right away, just call out your name. If not, we'll give you multiple choice. First person to call out his name gets first choice. And we go back and forth till we have a winner. Here we go.
Good luck, guys. Let's take you back to this day in sports. Let's make it 64 years ago. The 1960 Olympics. Cassius Clay, a.k.a. Muhammad Ali later on, won the light heavyweight boxing gold medal by beating this 3-time European champion. I'm not going to ask you for his name, but I'm going to ask you what country was his opponent from.
All right. Anybody? There's multiple choice.
Was it Germany, Poland, England, or the Soviet Union?
Oh, God.
We're both playing the waiting game.
I'll go Lenny.
Lenny's going because he knows Ron's going to do bullshit.
Let me go the Poland.
Poland. Is that right?
Correct. Nice job.
That's it. It was Zbigniew Pietrowski.
Who? What?
Of course it was.
Zbigniew, Zbigniew Pietrowski.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, well, congrats, Chronic. I'll see you tonight.
Only Lenny would get that.
I'll see you next.
Won't do that tonight. I'm traveling to New York.
All right. Well, safe travels.
All right. Congratulations, Lenny. Appreciate it. And no Lenny at the live trivia tonight?
I guess he's going up north. Maybe he's going to Toga. Is this his Toga trip? I know he heads to.
Lenny will not be there tonight?
No, Chronic himself tonight, but I would hope he will be out there.
Yeah.
Good. Have a safe trip, Lenny.
I was
the certificate you get expires tonight, so you're out of luck.
I was translating some boxing matches from whatever language they happen to be broadcast in originally to English, and I ended up doing a bunch of fights with a guy named Tomasz Wolarczyk, who was a Polish light heavyweight champion of little distinction. And I thought that was a tough name to deal with. But what was this guy's name? Zabuski? The hell was it?
Zbigniew Pietrowski.
Good job, Craig.
Wasn't he a kicker for the Bears?
We just call him Charlie.
I think he played for Bama. All right, we love you, Greg. We'll see you
By
next
the way,
time.
Greg, thanks, man.
What do you call 1,000 Polish guys wearing turbans?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm afraid to ask.
Pakistanis. All right. See you later, guys.
That shouldn't offend anybody, Lubie. Should we expect the usual litigation to follow?
It is what it is.
All right, so you're saying I'm out of this equation? The cruise up to Boynton Beach, not necessary to join you up there? Because that's a schlep, Lubie.
Butcher in the bar. I guess
Butcher in the bar, Boynton Beach for the Mike Mayo lunch box.
Shop, but also has food too. I don't know. Those places usually are small and
yeah. Okay, that sounds good, man. Owners
tours,
get on there.
chefs, butchers. We'll get the whole shebang. 1:00 today on the lunchbox.
All right, and then we have the Friday one at Gulfstream, and then special edition Fishtails on Monday on 33rd Street. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Looking forward to that. That's a return. I mean, we probably should have been banned from Fishtails, Louis, after discovering the high-scoring MAC conference through the professor and his genius. And we were just screaming on every score while the band was playing on a Tuesday night when they were showing MAC games.
Yes.
This was before people took notice of this particular conference as being a very exciting brand of football.
You make good money.
And we're scoring, wildly with like Northern Illinois and Toledo. The over was usually accomplished by like halftime in those games. But the yelling and screaming we were doing with each touchdown, people didn't know which team we were rooting for. And the truth was we were rooting for anybody to score. That's all we gave a shit about.
Exactly.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks. We'll have a Degenerate Friday tomorrow. The professor was on fire first week of college football, I think, both on this show, and he killed it on our Bury Your Bookie show. So, he's off to a rocking start. His only loser, I think, was LSU. He was a big fan of LSU.
They had a lead late in that game.
In their game against USC.
I mean, they hadn't allowed USC to do anything all game. In the last, 6 minutes, they allowed 2 different long touchdown drives.
Brian Kelly deemed to be the worst coach in college football by the professor.
He's just not. It's not that he's the worst coach. He's just not great in these spots, and he's now coached for 2 major programs that are in these spots a lot, and he tends to lose almost every time he's in these big spots. Look, he lost FSU the last 2 years to start the season, and then this year USC is trying to figure out how to recover a defense in one off season, and they did because they were only able to put up 3 scores. I mean,
unbelievable. I mean, I've never been overwhelmingly impressed with Brian Kelly as a head coach. He's had success, though. Obviously, he's coached some very prominent programs.
Notre Dame,
including Notre Dame. I mean, how do you turn your back on Notre Dame? Holy Newt Rockne.
Playoffs a few times.
Yeah.
I think into at least one title game, and then they would get demolished. And that's sort of like his MO. Yeah. And at LSU, he may not even get to that place.
I mean, if Ed Ogeron was constantly on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah. Brian Kelly.
How long is the grace period for this guy? All right. Great, Lubie. Excellent stuff. So you're going to schlep up there. Very good. And that's coming up later on today. And then very excited about visiting the lovely Kathy Vasallo there at Fishtails on 33rd Street. And they're open for lunch.
Nice.
For people and probably underrated in terms of what they offer. A very, very great combination of things on the menu, both lunch and dinner. So we'll see what happens there. If Mayo makes a face, though, that's it. We're done.
He won't make a face. I'm sure it's great. We love Fishtails.
You think he'll make a face?
No, he won't make a
face. He sort of made a little face yesterday over that sandwich that Brian was so graciously put out while he was swamped.
Mayonnaise. I thought it was good.
Like, man, I don't know about this mayonnaise. We're like, mayonnaise? Come on. You're going to complain about that? Get the fuck out of here. I thought it was good. I really did.
I really liked it. I don't know.
That's the way it goes. I mean, you know what? Woman comes down the stairs and says, does this dress make me look fat? Well, what are you going to say?
Yes. Well, I know what to say. You would say Mayo would say, well.
Looks like you put on a few, like he was in Raging Bull.
Yeah, he's the first person.
Hey, Jake, looks like you put on a few. Yeah, take it right off.
Good luck. Yeah.
It's one of a kind. All right, we'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:02.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done.